Hey guys, I know it's been a really long time since I filmed last, but I have been going through a lot of crazy health stuff for the past year or so. When I started yoga, it was first semester of my sophomore year, so um, fall of 2011. I was taking a class at school, and it was going great, and I was loving yoga, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I started getting really, really dizzy and passing out during my yoga practices. And then it started out, like, I started passing out during any exercise that I was doing, anything. I'd be on the elliptical and I would, like, get really dizzy. I would climb the stairs and I would get really dizzy, or I would pass out, or, I mean, I had near blackouts almost every other day, and it was just this crazy, like, whirlwind of. I went to the doctor it was late November of 2011, and my doctor ordered a bunch of tests. I had some blood work done, I had an EKG done, and I had a stress test with an echocardiogram done. All of those came back inconclusive. There was nothing physically wrong with my heart. My blood work all came back pretty normal. There was nothing that they could find. And so she said that if I had kept getting dizzy, I should go to a neurologist. Spring semester came around and stopped doing yoga, because yoga was the thing that, like, made me get dizzy the most often. So I stopped getting dizzy when I stopped doing yoga. So I didn't go back to the doctor. Spring semester is great, didn't pass out at all. Summer comes, I'm living with my grandma. If you guys watch my other channel, with my dog, you know that my dog started having seizures, and we came back home so Peaches could be closer to the vet. And that whole time when I was at my grandma's, I had been working out. I had been doing Jillian Michaels' 30-day shred. It was fine. I wasn't getting dizzy at all. So I had no idea what the whole episode was in the beginning of my sophomore year. So that all happened. I stopped working out as much. I mean, I wasn't working out every single day when I was home. So I was home during the summer for about a month and a half. And so I was sort of deconditioning. And I got back to school last year, which fall of 2012. I still had my JCC membership. I was honestly, I was afraid to go back to the gym because I didn't want to pass out again. I'd only actually passed out, like full on passed out, like blackout faint, twice. And once was during yoga, and my teacher said it was probably just that I wasn't breathing correctly. But yeah, we never really figured it out until I started working out again. I started getting dizzy again. I started running. I was dizzy like all the time, and I would climb the stairs. I would climb a flight of stairs to get to my apartment, and I would be dizzy when I got to the top of them. So I knew something was up, and I went to the health clinic here at school, and the nurse did this test where she had me lay down, took my blood pressure and my pulse, sit up, took my blood pressure and pulse. I stood up, she took my blood pressure and my pulse. My pulse went up, my blood pressure went down, only slightly, not like a whole lot, but it was something. So then she told me, she was like, so it's not definitive, but I think you might have POTS. And I was like, oh, okay, POTS, cool, what's that? And so she explained it. She was like, you need to go get a tilt table test done. At this point, I'm kind of freaking out because I had researched POTS. It didn't sound fun. I was really just not looking forward to that. So I went and tried and got, like, the run around with my doctor, trying to figure out, like, to go to a cardiologist to get all these things done. She wanted me to go back home to the Cleveland Clinic, and it just wasn't going to work out because I was at school. So I took it under my wing and found a cardiologist down here, and I ended up going to the OT Medical Center. So I found this doctor. He's great, Dr. Dixon. I got right in within about a month, which is kind of crazy to think about. He immediately ordered a event monitor. It was a month-long event monitor. That all goes by. 2 weeks later, I have this event monitor on me that I'm wearing 24 hours basically. And he calls me and goes, I need you to come in when you get back to school. We're going to give you a Holter monitor. I'm like, what do you mean I have an event monitor on? And he's like, well, this whole time that you've had it on, it hasn't been working. Okay, so great. I've had this stupid giant, it was like the size of a Walkman, for 2 weeks on. My whole life has been dictated by this stupid event monitor, and it hasn't been working the whole time. So that was ridiculous. So I came back after Thanksgiving break, after my doctor called me during Thanksgiving break, got the Holter monitor. It was a 24-hour Holter monitor. I was like, what are they going to do with 24 hours of information when I don't get symptoms every single day? I had symptoms twice during the 24 hours. I recorded it. I have still yet to see what happened from that. Flash forward 2 weeks. I am on the way to the hospital to get my tilt table test done. I am freaking out. I haven't eaten. Not looking forward to it. I go in. They give me my IV. Apparently I'm supposed to have a private room, and I'm stuck in this Coumadin clinic because there aren't enough rooms, and it was just crazy. So I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there. This male nurse walks in. He's like, why are you still here? Let me take you down to a room. Oh, and by the way, you don't need that IV in yet. So I had the needle, I had the tube in, but he said that I didn't need the drip. So he took the drip off. Sitting in the room, finally got a private room. 5 minutes later, after they took my follow-up EKG, they wheel me in for the tilt table test. I had 5 minutes in my own room. That's it. So I was a little frustrated, but I had no time to calm down at all. So tilt table test happens. You can look it up if you've never heard of it, but basically I'm lying down on this table. They tilt me up, and nothing happens. I'm standing there for 10 minutes at about 90 degrees. Nothing happened, and I didn't get dizzy at all. It's basically normal for me. I don't get dizzy when I stand up unless I am working out or standing for a really, really long time. So they lay me back down. They're like, okay, we're going to give you the drug to increase your heart rate. I'm like, okay, great. They're like, yeah, we're going to start with the smallest dose. So they gave me the smallest dose, and I immediately felt it, right when they got it in me. It was the craziest thing. I felt my heart start beating faster and faster and faster. They stood me up. They're like, we may have to give you more to get the right result. And I'm like, okay, this feels really weird. Right as they stood me up, my vision started going gray. That's one of my telltale signs that I'm about to pass out. My ears started ringing, and I'm standing, on this table. You're just, standing on a platform, and you're strapped in so you don't fall over if you do pass out. But I'm standing there, and I'm like, this feels really weird, kind of just rolling my head around and not feeling well at all, and I felt like I was going to throw up. And right as I felt like I was going to throw up, my vision went black. But I could still sort of hear, and I was conscious, I just couldn't see. And then my hearing went completely, I couldn't hear anything. Apparently they were asking me questions the whole time, how are you feeling, what's going on? And so, probably 5 or so minutes went by, and they're like, okay, Allie, we're going to lay you back down. And I'm like, okay, did I pass out? And they're laying me back down, and they're like, no, your heart rate dropped to 45 and your blood pressure was 70/30. And I was like, oh, okay, what does that mean? They were like, you were within seconds of passing out. If we had kept you up longer and your blood pressure had dropped more, you could have gone into cardiac arrest. It's a normal reaction for some people. Once we lay them back down, your heart starts beating again. I'm like, okay, you couldn't have told me that before. But, so they laid me back down, they put me on, I can't remember what it's called, but they, shoved me full of fluids through my IV to get my blood pressure back up. And at this time, after, sweating my butt off this whole time, because, your heart's racing, your adrenaline's going, and it's like you're working out. My heart started slowing down, and I was freezing. Like, I was shivering like none other. So that all happened. The nurse got me some nice warm blankets. Fine. They gave me fluids, and then they wheeled me back to my room. My boyfriend was waiting for me, and they were like, "Can we get you anything?" And I really wanted like Sprite, so they got me Sprite. So that was nice. And then they had me in the recovery room for about an hour, but for some reason they took my IV out. But I don't know. And then the last thing that I had to do was walk around the hospital in my gown. Like, it was so funny. Like, I should have requested another one to put on as a robe. But, yeah, hospital gowns. If you've ever experienced them, they're not cool. So I had to walk around the hospital, do a lap, just to show her that I wasn't going to pass out when I went home. So I went home, I was just feeling totally wiped out. They liken the tilt table test when they have to give you the drug to running a marathon. And I was like, okay, I'm never running a marathon after that. So my boyfriend and I were supposed to go to Zoo Lights, and then it started raining, and it was really cold, and we were like, okay, let's just go watch a movie with friends. So that was nice, because I just really didn't feel like doing anything after that. I just wanted to lounge around and sleep, basically. So all of that happens. Winter break happens. This is a whole year after all of these episodes started. I'm sitting in Dr. Dixon's office for my follow-up with my mom, and he goes, okay, so we think we know what's wrong with you. You have chronic hypovolemia, which is basically low blood volume. I'm going to have to live with it for the rest of my life. They have me drinking a lot of water, and I increase my salt, and they have me taking this, like, it's like Gatorade, but cheaper and sugar-free and different. Like, it's better than Gatorade, I guess. I don't know. And as much Gatorade as I want. So my body's still getting used to it. I was really, really bloated for the first few weeks, but I'm getting used to it. I'm not as bloated anymore. So basically, that's what has been going on for the past year of my life. That's why I haven't been making videos. I've just been really, honestly, just exhausted all the time and sick and just not feeling up to doing much. But I can feel my energy coming back. I'm actually about to work out. I'm going to do the Biggest Loser Wii game, if I can find it. I'm going to do that. So excited. I haven't done it in a while. I'll show you the stuff that they're having me drink. It's called Noon. It's just an electrolyte drink. It's like Airborne. You put it in water and it fizzes. So that's fun. So I have lost 5 pounds. I'm working out. I'm dieting. I'm getting back on track. Because this whole thing just sideswiped me. Like, I couldn't diet. I had to keep my protein and, like, everything. I thought I was anemic and, like, all this crazy stuff going on in my life, and I didn't know it was, like, what exactly it was. So I was trying all these things, like, to fix it. Nothing was working. So now, finally, we think we have it fixed. I may have to go in for a follow-up if stuff keeps happening, but let's hope that doesn't. And then, I mean, I'll probably keep working out. I'll probably do a few more videos on this, and I promised you guys, like, a year ago that I was going to do, or not even a year ago, it was a little less than a year ago, a college health series. Exercise, diet, weight gain, stress, time management, all of that stuff. So I will start planning that. I'm working on a bunch of homework right now, so I'll probably have to wait a little while, but I'll probably try to get it out at least by the end of February, like the first installment. So yeah, I'm really excited to be back. I hope you guys like this video. It was really long-winded. But if you have requests, let me know in the comments. Subscribe, like. You guys rock. Bye. Thanks for watching.